There's the bounce now. It's Mann who gets the tap down, but Gabelich on the counter one bangs it right down on the forward line. But Thorogood for Melbourne comes in. He handballs over to Case as Case puts his left foot kick over onto the centre wing position, where Dixon very near held it, but it's been knocked down to Burns. Burns, nice little punt pass over to Brewer. Now here's an interesting one. Brewer has come on the ground, the 19th man. We'll see if we can pick up who has gone off there with you, Jeff. It's Brewer on. He looks like he may be on that half-forward flank. His kick has gone out of bounds in the forward pocket for Collingwood.
I didn't know he'd come on.
It's a throw in. It's wide into where Lord gets a tap down, and Brewer's onto it again. He breaks away. Oh, a rather wild handball, but he's been allowed to get away with it. Oh, as Wiedemann just knocked Thorogood right out the picture, and it's Mann coming up. His kick going out of bounds on that centre wing position once again. Well, there's been some real heavy duels here today as players are throwing themselves in recklessly. Collingwood have not spared themselves, but they have not had the ability that Melbourne have had up to this stage. All over the back to where Wiedemann's scouting nicely, but his kick is harried by the Melbourne defenders, and it goes out of bounds on the half-forward flank position. There's Turners in the centre there, still on Miffin. It's Mann, a lovely knockdown, where it's Brewer, though, leading in the race, and once again he scoops up nicely. He screws the ball over in the direction of Gabelich, but Lords cuts in. It's Thorogood who picks the ball up. His kick goes up to over the top of Hasselmann, and it's thripped for Collingwood, and he's scragged as he kicks, and it will go over the line and out of bounds once again. Well, that's a remarkable thing. Brewer's had 3 kicks in as many minutes. It's a tap down again by Mann, and it's Turner coming through, was held. Now it's Dixon for Melbourne. He was scragged a little, but it's still play on, and the ball is right on the line, but now it's over. Out of bounds once again. There's an equivalent to, 7 goals the margin between the two sides at this stage, a big margin on a day like today. Wiedemann, he's a bit slow in picking that up and doing something with it. He's tackled by Mithen, a little bit lucky to take a free kick. Wiedemann, a free kick on the centre line. He uses the drop punt. It's up to the centre half forward position. Oh, Barassi very nearly marked that, but it's Case coming in, boots strongly off the ground, over into the mud patch in the centre of the ground. Delante has a wild lunge at it, but it's scooped out nicely by Tunbridge to Mithen, but Delante was all over the top of him, and Mithen will take the free kick in the centre of the ground for Melbourne. Has been a good player for Melbourne all day today. His kick, it's a good one. There's plenty of distance up into the centre half forward position where Thripp took a nice one. It's a rather hard one to hold today with this ball greasy. He smothered it nicely and wrapped it down into his stomach. Thripp to take the kick now from Collingwood's centre half back position, going straight up the ground. Slipped a little as he kicked, and it's Gabelich tried to knock it out there, but it went right through to where, oh, it's right in the middle of about 6 or 7 players. We'll let umpire Irving spread it out himself. Oh, man, he's getting up to some terrific heights in the ruck. The ball's dropped off. It's been swept down onto Melbourne's forward line. Players came through, but it's Tunbridge who picked up nicely. His screw left foot goes down towards Bob Johnson. He's screaming as usual in underneath the Collingwood player, and he's scragged, but he gets away with it. And now it's down towards Laidlaw, but oh, there's players all over the top of him. It's a ball up right in that centre half forward position for Melbourne. Down now to where Thripp kicks off the ground, as it's Roworth in turn has another kick at it to go out of bounds on Collingwood's forward line. Roworth played quite well for Melbourne today in that full forward position, although I don't think he has scored a goal. There's a nice knockout by Gabelich over towards Rose. He just goes round Hutchison nicely, and his kick goes over the line, out of bounds on there, well, just clear of the half-back flank position on the inner side of the ground.
Yes, John Henderson.
As far as we can ascertain, it looks like Henderson off the ground for Collingwood when Beers came, at least not Beers, Brewer came on as 19th man. Just trying to pick up Brewer now, Eric. He appeared to be on that half-forward flank when he came on, but he looks like he could be on the ball. He's right down in the play down this end. Harrison this time, a punch out to where Turner bolts nicely, left foot back into the centre of the ground, where it's Wiedemann, tried to take a one-hander, but Lord coming through strongly has swept it away. He's still in the van, but it's gone off the side of his foot, picked up by Beers. Beers puts it out onto that half-forward flank where it's little Burns in underneath it. He got it on the second bite, and he's played on. He's up the centre of the ground. His kick's gone over onto the other half-forward flank, where, the Melbourne player coming up the other way got the best of that duel. Players coming in from each direction had a kick at it, and it came back Melbourne's way to go out of bounds on their half-back line. Fallows and Mann. Fallows down in the direction of Burns. He bolts nicely, and his kick has been smothered, though. And it's Mann coming through, endeavouring to pick it up, but it's kicked off by Turner. Now it's Lord. He hasn't picked it up, but he smothered it as Willett tries to handball over to Dwyer. But it's Beckwith this time, and Turner comes in and he steadies, but he's spoiled as he kicked. And now Chazzy Johnson has it. He handballs desperately, and Wiedemann's falling all over the top of it. Oh, the boys look nice and tired there. Have a look at who is it. Thorogood. He looks completely done at this stage. Man, up on top of that ruck once again, and he hammers it down, put it out of bounds on Melbourne's half-back line. Well, Mann's having the better of these ruck duels in this last quarter, as you can see. It's over the back now to where it's Harrison. He picks up handballs to Dwyer, and Dwyer's left foot. It's only 1 point, though. Oh, they badly need goal. Well, there's a remarkable thing. Collingwood's first point for the day under conditions such as this, when you expect points to be rattled on. Melbourne have kicked actually 12 of them.
Melbourne score 7-12, 54 points. Collingwood 2-1, 13 points.
Yes, apparently he wasn't on the ball there, Eric. As you say, he's chasing kicks. He certainly was chasing them. He was well down on that half-back line. It's Taz Johnson's kick over onto the half-back flank where Barassi went down. I don't know, just couldn't exactly see why, but he's still on the ground at this stage. The ball has gone up. Oh, look at Tunbridge on that centre wing position, streaking away, picks up beautifully and punts it to go out of bounds up on their half-forward flank. What a lovely mover this Tunbridge is. The only part of his game that breaks down is his kicking. If he was a neat kick, he'd be practically the complete footballer. It's a throw-in on the half-forward line. It's over the back to where it's Turner, picks up, gets around onto his left foot, but had to handball it, and it's still over on the wing where it's Gray this time. Handball's back to Turner. Turner's going wide out on the flank there. His kick goes up. Oh, no, it's gone out of bounds on the centre wing position, or a little forward of the centre on that outer side of the ground. Well, the crowd is remarkably silent for a grand final. And the sun's come out just to rub it into, salt into the wound. It's still on that outer flank, right on the line, and we'll go over the bounds once, over the line, out of bounds once again. It's Trevor Johnson in the ruck for Melbourne this time, but Gavlich coming the other way got it, but Lord was in over the top of it and actually carried the Collingwood player out of the play. It's a throw up right on that outer wing position. Gavlich once again taps it down, but there's players falling all over it. It'll need to be another one, I think. Yes, umpire Irving has had his time cut out in this quarter trying to keep this play open. Ball dropped down without any particular player getting the knock, and it's another scramble once again. Well, I think it'll pay the umpire to really push them out and try and open the play out in some way. Gavlich again, and Harrison carried it on with another knock, but it's Mann coming in, playing that kick behind. This time it's Beers gets his kick back up towards Collingwood's forward pocket where it's gone out of bounds.
Interesting to note now, Bill, if you look on the ground, there's not one player on the members' stand side of the wing. I think every player's on the other side of the ground. Yes,
unfortunately it's developing into a bit of a scramble, Jeff. It's a pity really for a big crowd such as this when they expect they got good value for their money last week, but I'm afraid they're not getting it today. The kick has come up into the full forward position for Collingwood. It's over the back, and it's Thorogood in front. He picks up nicely there, and his kick has gone further afield, right on the line in the half-back flank position where Mann, that was good play. Good play as he went right on the line, tried to hook it over his head to Dixon, but the boundary umpire ruled that it was out of bounds. It's Bob Johnson in the ruck for Melbourne. He taps down nicely to Dixon, who handballs out nicely to Mithun, and Mithun's kick goes up onto the half-forward flank where it's Ridley in front, but Reeves spoiled him nicely. This time it's Mick Toomey. Toomey hooks it over, but it's Dixon to take the mark, and he plays on. His kick goes down onto the half-forward flank, over the back, where it's Roweth leading in the race. The ball well in front. His left foot's a beauty. It's gone right through the middle. Well, there's Roweth. The goal for Melbourne. That's
takes Melbourne score on to 8 goals, 12 behind, 60 points. Collingwood 2-1, 13.
That's Roweth's first goal for the day. And it's Leahy to take the kick for Melbourne. And it's not a bad kick up in the direction of Laidlaw, but it's over the back where Turner, following up nicely. Oh, a little handball to Thripp, but Thripp was right in underneath Laidlaw and had very little time. His kick right over on the outer wing position where it's Keneally, or just taps it over towards Tunbridge. Tunbridge way out on his own. This boy will show you what to do with it with a yard start. He just screws it off the side of his foot to Barassi in the forward pocket. So easy for Melbourne at this stage. Barassi would be about 40 yards out on his wrong side, but not on a particularly acute angle. And there goes the siren to end what has been a disappointing game, with Melbourne taking out the premiership for 1960 with a convincing victory. 8 goals, 14, 62 points to Collingwood, 2 goals, 14 points.